Hello, New You Women. It's Katherine here, and I'm here with Angel. She's an amazing leader, entrepreneur, working her business, driving women to success. And I want her just to share a little bit about herself before we dive into a beautiful topic today.
Thank you so much, Kate. I'm so excited to be doing this with you, and I appreciate you so much and your passion for women and what you've got going here, and just allowing us to be a part of this and to be able to start having these topics. I'm a single mom of two, full time, up in Canada. I am a full time entrepreneur. I built a couple of businesses on my own. I am in the network marketing space as well, and I just have a passion for leading women,
Mhm.
for speaking into them, for really I've spent some time in the coaching space as well, and really just identifying where people are kind of lacking some mindset, um, really seeing things in people that they don't see in themselves and being able to bring that out of them, right? Whether that's just personal growth, business growth, life growth. A lot of women are broken. And so that's just kind of my passion. That's what God has put on my heart. And so I kind of love that I can mold that into my everyday life. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. So today we're going to talk about, and I love this topic. Angel and I were talking about it the other day, and we said let's do something on this for all of you. And it's about talking about the power within you and finding that and tapping into it. And I think that is such a beautiful topic because a lot of times we're always imagining what it's like to be strong, going through the ups and downs. How do we get to the top? How do we find that success? But it's like what is going on between the A to the B to get there that takes those ups and downs to the strength, and what are you doing? So let's dive into one of them. Angel, let's talk about something that you want to give as a tip, and go from there, and we'll just kind of feed off of each other and kind of just share our experiences so that they can get like some raw, in-depth situations and things that we've gone through.
For sure. Well, if I look back at myself 10, 11 years ago, I was broken. I was in a bad marriage. I was just surviving, just getting through. Like, if you can talk about a dark cloud, that's really how I felt. If
Yeah.
you could tell me that I would now be somebody who completely loves myself, believes in myself, sees unlimited potential,
Yeah.
I would have been like, who is that person?
Mhm.
For me, the first step to beginning to believe there was more for me and to see a difference was having to have a belief in myself,
Yeah.
and to have a belief in something different for myself, listening to different voices outside of my circle, right? We get stuck in those circles where if you're around negativity, if you're surrounded by poverty mindset, if you're surrounded by people telling you how worthless you are, right? You're going to listen to that. So it was really having to tap into outer voices
Yeah.
that believed in a difference for me, and starting to repeatedly speak that in my life, even though it felt like the most uncomfortable thing I could have ever done.
Right.
And one thing I did was, as I started to plug into more mentorship and more voices and more mindset training, I spoke it into my kids first, because I didn't even see the worth in myself to be able to speak it for myself. So I spoke it into my kids, and I
Yeah.
started telling them how amazing they were. And I started to see them grow with words rather than shrink, right, with their environment. So for me, that's definitely a first step.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And it's funny is like I was just thinking about where I've come from, right? Through the industry, through them. This is like July is my anniversary, right? Within like helping women, building and my business and empire, and help really truly getting involved in this space. And I look back at where I've come and what are the steps and the things that have helped me get here, and what was that mind shift for me. And I would have to say that I struggle through getting to that success with why I wasn't finding that success was because I wasn't tapping into my mindset shift of who I belong to, who I truly had value in, which was my heavenly Father, but like that I needed to find that I deserved and was worthy. So, I look in the mirror now every single day. It's been something that I do, and I wake up And as I'm waking up, like you go through this moment, a phase of coming out of your sleep and knowing that you're awake. And I start just saying, I am so worthy of today. I am so valuable. I am such an blessed woman of God that I can go out there and spread, this vision and mission, and I can have the success that I want. I deserve it, right? I do that every single day. And if I don't, and if you're not doing that, then you should go right back to bed and start all over again, because that is truly the moment where you wake up and you can tell yourself that you are worthy. I look in the mirror and do the same thing. I am worthy of this. Like, I deserve this. I deserve this. And it wasn't until I really felt like that I found that real like peace and knowing, and not just saying it, but really like knowing that I deserve it, was the shift for me. Was that was my inner, that gave me that inner strength every single day when I heard those words, when I heard people talking, or discouraging me, or whether it be like, hey, I didn't see it happen today, but it's going to happen tomorrow. Really going through those ups and downs, knowing that it's okay because it's right here. It's like, serve your heart, love yourself, and know that you need to almost console and like confide in yourself, and know that like, hey, I'm going to protect this right here before, and then I'm going to share it out here.
Yes. And I love when you just said that, because that process that you just talked about, that can be a really lonely journey. That is a self, like God taking stuff out of your closet, cleaning you out, making you see things, having to remove relationships from your life, realizing what's speaking into you that is not growing you, that is actually hindering you, right? The negative influence. And I think that women are almost scared to go through that process, because when you hit that lonely point, then you seek that comfort somewhere else, right? Oh no, I'm feeling lonely. I don't have somebody in my inner space that's validating me, or that's, that I can attach to. And that's really what I went through. It's so funny because yes, the growth started 11 years ago, but I've been divorced 7 years. In these last 4 years, I completely just shut myself off to relationships, shut myself off to seeking other things to fulfill me and to tell me what life should be, and just said, okay, God, use me, grow me. And it has been the most isolating, lonely time, but if I could go back, I would do it all over again. Like there's fear in it, but there's also comfort in what will happen is when you shut doors on other things, other doors open wide open for relationships, friendships, like meeting you. You're somebody I know that I could come to any single day and say, hey, this is what I'm going through right now. Do you have 5 minutes? Right. Yeah. And just knowing that you're going to have those people that are we kind of get led to the people that are on the same wavelength as us, right? The same level, the same frequency, the same everything, who are going through the same growth. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I think that pushing through that really lonely time was key for me, because I would hit it sometimes and then go seek something else. And then I'd start to get there again and go seek something else, right? So go on dating sites, or, go like whatever, but, push through that core point.
Yeah. And let's hit on a little bit about like that, like you just said, that in that inner circle, the people that you're surrounding yourself with, because that really is also, besides the mind shift, is finding that inner circle to help you with finding that strength, and then staying in the vibration, right, of that inner strength. Is hitting on that is because that's been something that I share all the time with my one-on-ones. I'm like, hey, who you around, right? Who are you talking to? Who's feeding you? Who are you feeding to, right? Like, what is going on your daily, walk, and what does your weekly walk look like, right? And your monthly walk, who is that? And I've had people actually literally ask me like, well, like, how do you just cut that person out? Like, you're someone that is you're empowering women, right? You're encouraging women, like, and you can just cut somebody out. It's important. And I understand that where someone would ask that, because I know that I remember like being a leader and saying, oh, I need to accept everyone. You do need to accept everyone. But for you to talk to the masses, and for you to grow your business, and for you to go help the mass, you may have to fine tune your inner circle. And that might mean cutting one person out so that you can shine for other people, right? You can shine for the mass, the global movement, right? That you're creating for yourself. So for me, it's not a matter of like, I'm not going to empower this person. When I say cut them out, you can love them from a distance. You can encourage them and you can be there, but they no longer have permission to be in that day-to-day know of what you're going through, right? It's like, it's just, they don't know like what you're maybe struggling with, what you're fine tuning. They don't know that, right? They've been dismissed from that job, right? You've dismissed them. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to love them from a distance, right? You're still doing your mission. You're still helping them grow and find that success. But now you have to create that boundary. And so when I say cut them off, it doesn't mean cut them off. It means just create that distance. And it's been a very big struggle for me because I'm always about wanting to help people. And I always kind of go towards those ones that need that help. But it's a matter of, for me now that I've grown into that inner strength inside of me, is, Kate, does this, like, if you let that feed into your life and like lower your vibration, does it help the global mass? And at the end of the day, that's what's important for your success, for your mindset, for your strength to get through, is to get around those people.
Yeah. And I think you and I are probably very similar, where most women who step into this level of loving themselves and we'll call it power or whatever, like
Yeah.
just with themselves, we start as nurturers and people pleasers, right? We want to love on everybody. We're usually fighting for the underdog. We're usually like those gatherers. We want to have that like motherly love with people. We want to help people. We want to problem solve for people, give people solutions. And we've probably hit our heads up against the wall so many times with people who just, you can lead them to the water, but they won't drink, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And I've done the same thing, where you come to a point where you realize what's sucking your energy. Where is your negative mindset coming from? And if they relate to certain people, yes, there's been people I've cut out of my life. There's people in my family. I could say it. My mom, she's never going to watch this because she does not support my entrepreneur journey. Right? She will not, like, we do not line up that way, but she's a very opposite mindset of me and a very negative voice in my life. So I surface level that, right?
Yeah.
The relationship still, of course, has to be there, but it's a very, you keep an expectation. And that's what I've kind of done with people. I expect from this person that this is what I'm going to get. So I don't end up disappointed, but I also won't give them more of me than what I know they deserve. Right. And I think that, and I've said to my kids, and I'm kind of raising them with this mindset that I didn't even realize until later on. And about your circle, it's like, do not accept criticism from somebody that you wouldn't go to for advice. So it's, yeah. And it's like, if I don't want what you have, respect what you have, want the life you have, want the mindset you have, if you aren't somebody that I would go to for advice, it's okay. You can have your opinion of me. And my family always jokes, because I sit there and I go, with those people, I go, oh, okay, thank you for your advice. Thanks for your opinion. I'll consider that and I'll catch up with you later, right? Because it's true. And so, yes, with my circle, I've been very quick to, it's so funny. You would think that as women who believe in and are the way we are, you'd think that your circle would be this massive influence of women and you'd have all these friends. My circle is so small because at the very first sign of something that I know doesn't align with me, and I start to feel that inner gut feeling of, oh, there's something off here. I don't know what it is. I cut it off now, right? You get so good at that, to be able to be like, I discern something in you that isn't feeding me and my soul, like you said, love from afar, but you don't get into my space anymore, right? And it's okay to be that way. We think that we have to like love on everyone and let everyone have all of our time, and we exactly.
And then last one that, as we've just been talking about this, putting into your feminine power.
Yes, I agree.
Which we will definitely talk about that on one of these days, but just to kind of surface it, I heard this thing the other day and it just kind of hit like my core, because this is something in the last couple of years I've really been fine tuning to find that inner strength. I always thought it was almost like a weakness, like having that feminine side to you. But I heard this thing that said, stop becoming what you want in a husband.
Oh,
Boom. I was like, oh my goodness, like how much is that happening today? Where women are feeling like they have to carry a strength and power, but at the same time, like we're praying, like, you know, God to send like that man into our life or have that man in our life, but you're being it. You know, and it's just, and as I'm thinking about that, it's like self-awareness, right? So part of the feminine, like, you know, tuning into your femininity side is self-awareness, right? Tuning into what your needs are. I was always the type that was strong-willed. I got this, like I don't need to show my tears, all that kind of stuff. And I never was aware of myself saying, I feel alone or I feel broken. I never said those words before. Like I feel alone. Like I felt them, but I never acknowledged them. And I would always just maybe react off of that loneliness. And it could be decisions or bad decisions I made. But when you start to find like your feminine side and tune into it, it's like I can be like scared. I can be feeling alone. I can feel like weak right now. I can feel broken. I can feel sad. When you're allowing yourself to be who you are in that moment, and we all go through those as women, right? We have those hormones. When you can actually acknowledge your hormones, you know, and tune into it, then you will more likely not make the decisions based off of feelings, because you're accepting, hey, listen, like this is where I'm at. So how do I fix that? Right. So like, for instance, if I'm feeling alone, I can say, hey, I'm feeling really alone right now. You don't need to like run off and fix that feeling off of feeling alone. You can say, okay, what do I need to do? Do I need to call up one of my inner circle people? Do I need to press into some, you know, personal development training and just tune out the loneliness feeling and tune in to that coaching and training? Hey, do I need to let my partner know? Hey, do I need to like, you know, let my, you know, my family know, whatever it may be? You know, what does that look like? Same thing with feeling like sad or broken, like what's going on in your life, right? So it's like that's another, I can't wait to actually talk about that, because that has really built my inner strength as well as being a female, that we actually have more power than we realize, inner strength that God has given us when we tap into that feminine energy.
I so agree. It's so funny because we're so on the same wavelength. Because when I was writing down notes, I actually wrote that down, like
What
about
did you?
femininity and everything. Yeah. So it's like, that's so funny. But this is a lesson I'm learning at the current moment, because being a full-time single mom, I'm dad.
Right, yeah.
I do all the stuff around the house. I never call on a man. I never hire anybody. My dad raised me as a boy, thank God. So I'm like a strong girl that way.
That's great.
But like, and I mean, of course, he raised me as a girl, but he
Yeah.
made me do guy stuff. I knew how to fix my car by the time I was 16, right? So, but I'm learning this because I actually got on a FaceTime with a guy that I, you know, was prospecting with on Instagram, and we got on a FaceTime, and he was like, he got in my face and he was like, you realize you have a very alpha energy and you are like repelling men. And I'm like, how dare you? Right? Like
Like, what he said even came out more, right? Like you have a very alpha. I'll show you alpha.
oh, you know you didn't, right? I was so pissed off. And but I took it afterwards, right? Like I didn't show him. I was like, you're wrong. I'm like, men want a strong woman. Men want a woman like this. Like I want to meet a man and build our empire. I don't want it to be that I have to bend to his empire. There should be equal dreams. And he was a little bit more extreme that way, right? So not that I took his words as offense, it made me stop and go, he's right. How much do I let my femininity come out? And especially in business, especially if I'm talking to a guy, I'm trying to match that energy, right? I'm not coming in as a female. I'm coming in as I match you. I'm just as equal as you here. And so it's so funny, but I think that in business, it can be that way. But what about my family life? What am I showing my daughter? She's 16, right? So am I showing her that you just have to be super strong all the time? And like, you know, you got to do all this stuff and you don't need a man. Well, no, you don't need a man, but wouldn't it be great like to build a partnership with somebody and have that, right? So I'm learning that. So these kind of conversations for me are perfect because I'm sure there's a lot of other women out there like me too.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of women out there are thinking to themselves, I want it. I want to get there, but how? Right. And they say, I want to be strong. I want to change and shift my mindset. Like they all want it. Right. And they're all seeking the how, like they're all eager to find it. They're all looking up for that magical, one message that will change their life. But the message is right here and here. At the end of the day, like your message to yourself, you accepting yourself and giving yourself permission is huge. Give yourself permission to know that you deserve it, that you just be self-aware of what you're going through at that moment. During that ups, celebrate yourself and encourage yourself. Celebrate yourself, encourage yourself, right? And if you accept yourself and where you're at, people will come along your path and help you. When you know that you deserve to be also surrounded by those successful people, they will just show up, right? When the student's ready, the teacher shows up, right? You know that saying? So, that's been something that has helped me through my life. And even today, right? Like I have to remind myself even today that I'm worthy of sharing and growing and my success and going to the top. I'm worthy of that. I'm worthy of the love I want. I'm worthy of the friendship I want. I'm worthy to have the family that surrounds me every single day. And that's key. So what's something that you would want to like leave, the audience with today to encourage them?
Well, I think exactly what you said. Like there's people on one side of the spectrum and the other, like where I just said, oh, I'm coming through too powerful. There's women that are going to be listening to this that are like, I don't even know where to find my power. Like my power doesn't even exist. Like they're me 11 years ago, right? What I love about this community is that women who have gone through the process are here to lead you, are here to speak into you, are here to say, hey, we've been there, or we are there, or this is what I'm going through. And that this is a place where women can come and say, and no matter where you're at, you're loved on, you're led, bring women into the space that need that. And I think that just knowing your passion and heart for what we're creating here and the women that are coming in, I think that tune into this more. The more you can hear voices like this, the more that you can hear that it's okay. It's okay where you are now, and it's okay to go where you want to go. It's okay to grow. It's okay to love yourself. It's okay to do exactly what you just said in the mornings and tell yourself how deserving you are, how worthy you are, how much you deserve all of the greatness that's coming to you, how you were born to lead, all of that stuff. It's okay to speak those things. And we feel like it's a uncomfortable thing and we shouldn't be talking that way about ourselves. And who are we to say that? The more you speak it, the more you hear it. And the more you tune into things like this, where you can get that leadership and those, just few tips, take something away from this today and implement it. What if you just started telling yourself every morning how great you are, right?
Exactly. Yeah, write it out and truly look at yourself, eye to eye in that mirror, right? And don't just sit there and read it off. Really read each word and feel it. And then when you get into that feeling of that's my attitude, I'm on fire, I've got that strength inside of me, hold that, recognize that feeling, what that feels like, and then hold it for the rest of the day. And I know you're going to go through moments of losing it, but go right back. If you have to carry that piece of paper around and read it again and feel it again, and then hold it and know that that's your inner strength, and know that you truly, at the end of the day, deserve everything that you're trying to work hard for, that you deserve the success, you deserve that, having that power inside of you, because you have a voice too, you have an inner calling, and that is just going to shine as you start to find who you are and you start to give you the permission that you deserve to have in this life, and you give your voice out to the world. You will find that inner strength as well, and you will find your purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Angel. I'm so glad to have you on this and to have a discussion with you. You are on fire right now with just what you're doing and how you're helping women just grow and become so successful. And I am so honored to have you as a friend.
Oh, I am honored, and I'm so blessed that God put you in my life and that we're here doing this. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Absolutely. We will talk again soon. Bye, guys. Bye, New You Women. Love you all so much.